phone call soon from someone saying actually the Americans did really win. So again, that idea, what's behind it, yes, it's a great opportunity. Well, there's a turn up for the book. There's a Centurion beating Decent there, which is quite something. Centurion, like I said, got that meter end in the back. You can see the dozer blade on the front there. It was used for clearing, making scrapes for hiding tanks and clearing obstacles. We've got the Centurion gun tank there going past as well. And in last place for Decent. We've also got another version of the Centurion there. Armoured recovery vehicle. Some of the earlier Centurion gun tanks. And it's got a structure on the top with a window and a dolly and seat. Able to this could either use blocking tackle or use straight pull behind it. While you need it not just on the positive recovery vehicles on the battlefield, obviously you might be having to cover under fire or shell burst still going off. Hence the need for the breathing crew that will be in that armoured recovery vehicle to be able to get there under some sort of protection off the battlefield. Now the Centurion without its bins on, it's got if you notice the different tracks on it. This is rubber track because when the Centurion was in service, NATO and Britain came out with a rule. They were fed up with aggressive metal tracks, ripping up the road all the time. So if you look, the ARV and the Centurion with the gun tank just about to go over the tabletop there, it's what they call hush puppy track. It's actually got rubber pads on. And rubber pads means you don't, on a hot day like today, rip up the road every time you turn left or right. Aggressive metal track will tend to bite into the road a bit too much. So they put rubber track pads on. And the law is at the moment, any British Army vehicle on the open road has to have a rubber pads on it, so it doesn't do too much damage. As I mentioned, for the driver, he's got to find that point of balance. He's just looking at the skies, he drives up the slope, so he's got to listen to his engine, feel the vehicle, get to the point of balance, and not take his foot off the accelerator until exactly the right moment, otherwise he'll roll back. So these are all arts that people learn. When you go down a slope in a gun tank, you notice a lot of the tank guns are getting longer as time goes on. So you are taught to traverse your turret to the side when you go up and over. Now, unfortunately, some of these vehicles, obviously not all the turret systems are working, so the idea of traversing is not always possible, because what you don't want to do is as you go down the slope, is to, I think we might have a little bit of a backfire there on the Centurion ARV, so just making sure we put out the petrol that might have caught there. But what you don't want to find yourself doing is burying your gun into the earth as you go over a mound, because number one, you might block your gun barrel, and number two, you might find yourself in the position that again you damage your barrel, and you're on a charge if you did that, because it was considered your fault. So you try not to bury the barrel in the ground. So I think we've had a little bit of a backfire there on our ARB as it went back down there. Petrol engines, as you can imagine, always one of the issues there. Petrol, volatility of petrol is always an issue, so quite sensibly they've got out the vehicles nice and quick. You do not want to be hanging around inside a vehicle if you've got the risk of petrol taking off at all. Inside a tank, we're going to bring out a couple of chieftains there. In terms of the crew, there's a driver, if you haven't noticed him, in the chieftain, he's right down the front, in the middle of the tank, underneath the barrel. And the chieftain driver is actually, the military call it a supine position. He's there, almost laying on his back, and the reason he's laying on his back when he's driving that vehicle is so the profile of the tank low. If he's sitting up, it means the tank has got to be higher, and that means the whole tank's got to be higher. And the higher you are, the more that commander is scanning the landscape, not only just for the enemy if he's in combat, but he's looking at things. Are those tall bits of grass an indication of marshy ground? What's the best way to advance to keep yourself out of sight of the enemy, because they're going to hear you coming, but don't expose yourself to the last moment. And in the turret, the other side of the turret from the commander is a loader, and he's the guy, he doesn't have his own hat, he's there actually to load the rounds in the gun, followed by a bag of explosives that blast them out. Now just in front of that commander is sitting the gunner. And the gunner's the one that's got the real issue, because they're trying to train that 120mm gun on a target, keep it on the target, as the vehicle is driving around. And again, once they are on the target, quite often pointed out by an armoured unit there, he realised there they all were, painting their tank green in an urban setting. It just didn't seem to work. So he came up with this scheme that he got 50 guineas for. He was given a reward for it. It's called the Berlin Camo Scheme, and what it does is it breaks up the outline of the vehicle. It doesn't look that effective against the greenery in the background we've got here, but if you look at this in an urban setting, you'll probably have an idea there's a vehicle there, but you don't know where it begins and ends. And it's a bit the same principle as dazzle tips in World War I. It breaks up an outline and you're not too sure if it's going one way or the other. Where does it start? Where does it end? And it's actually a very effective camouflage scheme. We're still using it, even though they've come up with a digital camouflage. The digital cam looks great, costs too much money to acquire all the time. The good thing about Berlin camo, most of the guys with a couple of sensors and the camouflage scheme that was used in a place called Battery. British Army training area, Suffolk, and that's out in Canada, an enormous training area that the British Army could actually do whole battle groups doing attacks. This is the camo scheme used on there, and you'll see some white lines on the front of the turret. These are safety markings, so that when they're firing, live firing, they know that there's certain arcs they're allowed to fire in when you're doing live firing exercises. What you don't do is put your other turret in, by turning the turret too far to you also pick up.
I think that's the donkey engine.
What you'll probably have to do,
we've got a pair of side cutters up there, and then those are just
you ever come to get a new pipe for it, you won't have to put your own stickers off that where the next stick is. One place you don't have
That's fine. Because I still have both ends.
Giving fuel, that's a good thing. Yeah, don't throw it away. Giving fuel though, because if we flag it
I'm daft, but I'm not.
Did you get through that gap?
Dat probeer bijvoorbeeld dat, hè. Het is hartstikke leuk met al die hele kleine tankjes met hele die huisjes. Best leuk, maar ik vind het eigenlijk leuk dat je niet aan de tankjes zijn. Ja, zo staan.
Go and read the description.